Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 1, questions by Vidura. And we try to understand Shlok number 13 to 15. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayamudire Nashtaprayasho Vadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Hare Krishna. Shloka 13 to 15. Saha Esha Dosha Purushadvit Aste Gruhana Pravishta Yam Apathyā-Matya Kṛṣṇa-vimukha Gatasrihi Tyajah Ashva Shaiva Kulakauṣalaya
त्यज्य अशैवं कुलकौशलाय
इति उचितवान् तत्र सुयोधेन
इति उचिवान् तत्र सुयोधनेन
प्रवृत्तकोपस्फुरित अधरेण
प्रवृत्तकोपस्फुरितधरेण
असत्कृत सत्स्पृहणीयशीलः
असत्कृतः सत्स्पृहणीयशीलः
दासकर्ण अणुजसौ बलेन
क्षत्ता सकर्णानुजसौ बलेन
कः एनम् अत्र उपजुहाव जिह्वम्
कः एनम् उत्रोपजुहावजीवम्
दास्यः सुतं यत् मलिन एव पुष्टः
दास्यः सुतं यत् मलिनेव पुष्टः
मलिनाय तस्मिन् प्रतिपः परकृत्य आस्ते
तस्मिन् प्रतिपः परकृत्यास्ते
निर्वास्यताम् आशु पुरात श्वसानः
निर्वाणस्य तामाशु पुरात श्वसानः
स एष दोष पुरुष द्विट आस्ते
स एष दोष पुरुषगीतास्ते
गृहाण प्रविष्ट यमपत्यमत्या
गृहान् प्रविष्ट यमपत्यमत्य
उष्णासि कृष्णात् विमुख गतश्रीः
उष्णासि कृष्णात् विमुख गतश्री
तेज आसु शैवं कुलकौशलाय
तेज अश्वशैवं कुलकौशलाय
इति उच्यमान् तत्र सुयोधेन
इति उचिवान् तत्र सुयोधनेन
प्रवृत्तकोपस्फुरित अधरेण
प्रवृत्तकोपः स्फुरितधरेण
सत्कृत सत्स्पृहणीयशीलः
असत्कृतस्पृहणीयशील
क्षत्ता सकर्ण अणुज सौबलेन
श्रद्धा सकर्ण अनुजसौ बलेन
क एनम् अत्र उपजुहाव जिह्वम्
क एनम् अत्र उपजावजीवम्
दास्याः सुतं यत् बलिना एव पुष्टः
दास्यास्तु तं यत् बलिन एव पुष्टः
तस्मिन् प्रतिपः परकृत्य आस्ते
तस्मिन् प्रतिपः परकृत्यास्ते
निर्वास्याम् आशु पुरात श्वसानः
निर्वास्य तमाशु पुरात् श्वसानः
स एष दोष पुरुष द्विटास्ते गृहाण प्रविष्ट यमपत्यमत्या कृष्णांसि कृष्णात विमुख गतश्रीः त्यज आसु अशैवं कुलकौशल्याय इति उचितवान् तत्र सुयोधनेन प्रवृत्त कोपस्मृति अधरेण असत्कृत सत्स्पृहणीयशील क्षत्ता सकर्ण अणुज सौबलेन एनम् अत्र उपजुहाव जिह्वम् दास्यासुतं यद्बलिना एव पृष्ट तस्मिन् प्रतिप प्रकृत्य आस्ते निर्वासत्यां पुरात् श्वसानः
स एष दोष पुरुषविदास्ते गृहान् प्रविष्ट यमपत्यमत्या पुष्णासि कृष्णाद्विमुख गतश्री तेज अश्वशैवं कुलकोशलायम् इति उचीवान् तत्र सूर्योधनेन प्रवृद्ध कोपस्फुरितदरेण असत्कृतः सत्स्पृहणीयशील क्षत्ता सकर्णा अनुजसौबलेन एनमत्र उपजुहावजिह्वां दास्यासुतं यत् बलिनेव पुष्ट तस्मिन् प्रतिपः प्रकृत्यास्ते निर्वास्यताम् आशु पुरात् श्वसानः.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. You are maintaining offense personified Duryodhana as your infallible son, but he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are thus maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. Relieve yourself of this ill fortune as well as possible and do good to the whole family. While speaking thus, Vidura, whose personal character was esteemed by respectable person, was insulted by Duryodhana, who was swollen with anger and whose lips were trembling. Duryodhana was in company with Karna, his younger brothers, and, and his maternal uncle Shakuni, who asked him to come here, this son of a kept mistress. He is so crooked that he spices in the interest of the enemy against those on whose support he has grown up. Toss him out of the palace immediately and leave him with only his breath. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A good son is called Apathyā, one who does not allow his father to fall down. The son can protect his father's soul when the father is dead by offering sacrifices to please the Supreme Lord Vishnu. This system is still prevalent in India. After the death of his father, a son goes to offer sacrifices at the lotus feet of Vishnu at Gaya and thus delivers the father's soul if the father is fallen. But if the son is already an enemy of Vishnu, how, in such an inimical mood, can he offer sacrifice unto Lord Vishnu's lotus feet? Lord Krishna is directly the personality of Godhead. Vishnu and Duryodhana was inimical to him. He would therefore be unable to protect his father, Dhṛtarāṣṭra. After his death, he himself was to fall down because of his faithlessness towards Vishnu. How then could he protect his father? Vidura advised Dhṛtarāṣṭra to get rid of such an unworthy son as Duryodhana as soon as possible if he was at all anxious to see to the good of his family. According to the moral instructions of Chanakya Pandit, what is the use of a son who is neither a learned man nor a devotee of the Lord? If a son is not a devotee of the Supreme Lord, he is just like blind eyes, a source of trouble. A physician may sometimes advise the extrication of such useless eyes from their sockets so that one can be relieved of the constant trouble. Duryodhana was exactly like blind, troubling eyes. He would be a source of great trouble to the family of Dhritarashtra as foreseen by Vidura. Vidura therefore rightly advised his eldest brother to get rid of this source of trouble. Dhritarashtra was wrongly maintaining such personified offense under the mistaken impression that Duryodhana was a good son, able to liberate his father. It is said that giving good counsel to a foolish person causes the fool to become angry, just as feeding milk to a snake only increases its venomous poison. Saint Vidura was so honorable that his character was looked up to by all respectable persons. But Duryodhana was so foolish that he dared to insult Vidura. This was due to his bad association with Shakuni, his maternal uncle, as well as with his friend Kṛṣṇa, who always encouraged Duryodhana in his nefarious acts. When getting married, the Kshatriya kings would take on several other youthful girls along with the married princess. These girls, attendants of the king, were known as dasis or attendant mistresses. By intimate association with the king, the dasis would get sons. Such sons were called dasiputras. They had no claim to a royal position, but they would get maintenance and other facilities just like Princess Vidura was the son of such a dasi. He was thus not counted amongst the Kshatriyas. King Dhritarashtra was very affectionate toward his younger Dasiputra brother Vidura, and Vidura was a great friend and philosophical advisor to Dhritarashtra. Duryodhana knew very well that Vidura was a great soul and well-wisher, but unfortunately he used a strong word to hurt his innocent uncle. Duryodhana not only attacked Vidura's birth but also called him an infidel because he seemed to support the cause of Yudhishthir, whom Duryodhana considered his enemy. He desired that Vidura be immediately put out of the palace and deprived of all his possessions. If possible, he would have liked him care until he was left with nothing but his breath. He charged that Vidura was a spy of the Pandavas because he advised King Dhritarashtra in their favor. Such is the situation of palace life and the intricacy of diplomacy that even a faultless person like Vidura could be charged with something abominable and punished. Vidura was struck with wonder at such unexpected behavior from nephew Duryodhana. And before anything actually happened, he decided to leave the palace for good. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवान् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगणललिता श्री विशाखान्विताञ्च नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam canto 3rd chapter, first questions by Vidura, and we try to understand shlok number 13 to 15. In shlok number 13, they describe about the uh, offenses personified, offenses to play done by the Duryodhana, and he is envious also Lord Krishna. And uh, Vidura told Dhṛtarāṣṭra that if you want to relieve yourself of this ill fortune as well as possible and good to the whole family, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. Uh, and in shloka number 14, they're describing about the uh, glorification of the Viduras, and in 15 shloka, they describe about who who is Vidura and how the Kshatriyas married and their system. And Vidura was struck with the wonder at such unexpected behavior from the Nepu Duryodhana. And before anything actually happened, he decided to leave the palace. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much, Mataji, for a wonderful conversation of these two important shlokas where we are studying the description of a crucial moment in the Kuru dynasty, Vidura's bold instance to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana's furious response. Actually, this shloka reveals many aspects, one of which is what real apatya. Apatya means a true son is. Secondly, by supporting an envious person destroys auspiciousness. So that is the second aspect. Thirdly, the destructive nature of bad association. Fourth, the spiritual danger of becoming Kṛṣṇa-vimukha, that is averse to Krishna. And then we also see some points related to Vidura's fearlessness, pure devotion, and Duryodhana's blindness caused by envy and arrogance. So here we see Vidura advises Dhritarashtra to reject Duryodhana. He is bluntly told that you are maintaining offense personified. Duryodhana is called as offense personified, saying that you think that he is your true son who will uplift you. But actually, he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are trying to support a non-devotee who opposes Krishna, you have lost your own auspiciousness. Please give up this misfortune at once and save your family. The important aspect here is Apathyā, who is a real son. So Apathyā is one who protects his father from falling even after the father's sons deliver their forefathers by offering Vishnu Prasad, by performing Vishnu Yajna. In fact, today is Mokshada Ekadashi, whose story if you have heard, you'll see that the king, he was troubled when he saw that his father was having to face all kinds of difficulties in hell. And they inquired of Rishi of what could be done, and he was advised to fast on this auspicious day of Mokshada Ekadashi and give its all benefits to his father. And when he did his father was relieved from the hellish conditions and he progressed on his journey to the heavenly planet. So if a son is an enemy of Vishnu, how can he offer sacrifice to Vishnu? How can he do the fast on the day which is most dear to Vishnu? So Krishna, Duryodhana is Krishna Dveshi, envious of Krishna. So he cannot uplift Dhritarashtra. Actually, Duryodhana is the Dosha Purusha, fault personified. And Vidura explains it. Duryodhana is not Apatya, but a source of downfall. He is a Murtiman dosha, sin, in a personified form. So supporting such a person makes Dhritarashtra to lose all Shri. Shri is fortune, prosperity, plus clarity. Chanakya used to instruct, what is the use of a son who is neither wise nor a devotee? Such a son is like blind eyes, only a source of agony. Sometimes a doctor removes blind eyes to relieve constant pain. Thus Vidura instructs, give up Duryodhana immediately for the good of the. So a fool reacts to instructions like a snake fed milk. So when Vidura spoke these wise instructions, Duryodhana insulted. He was burning with anger, supported by Karna, his brothers, and Shakun. Now, what this highlights is that sometimes good counsel makes a fool angry. Just as feeding milk to a snake increases its venom, speaking wisdom to a fool increases his anger. Duryodhana illustrates this perfectly. As we find that when we try to teach our wisdom, which we have learned out of experience to our near and dear ones, they don't understand. And in fact, it increases their anger. So what this shloka teaches us that whether we are parents or whether we are children, we should let everything as it is without speaking rather than increasing the anger of the person in front. Secondly, look at Vidura's character. Honorable, respected by all wise persons, pure-hearted, honest, fearless. Yet Duryodhana insulted him publicly. Why? Because of bad association. Duryodhana was constantly poisoned by Shakuni, his Nalanta, his Karna, his friend, and his younger brother. So bad association destroys even a potentially good person. That is why we need to be very, very careful. In fact, in the fifth shloka of 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is a differentiation between divine and demoniac qualities. Krishna tells Arjuna divine qualities lead to liberation, demoniac qualities lead to pain. So Arjuna had no demoniac qualities because he acted with consideration, humility, and devotion. But Duryodhana acts with anger, harshness, false pride, envy. Hence he falls into the category of demoniac nature. Questions sometimes come. How can or how a man becomes criminal? A grihastha who never gives charity becomes degraded. A brahmachari who accumulates wealth and does not surrender to the guru cannot progress. And acting under anger, pride, and harshness is a formula for bad. And anyone who is in either of these three makes his life go on the path of becoming a criminal. A person who is not following the instructions of Krishna. At times we speak of anger and we see that here anger is something which increases and creates problems. So is always an anger an issue? No, there can be justifiable anger. And only one type of anger is spiritually justified when Krishna, Guru, or devotees are instead. Otherwise, we are advised to walk. Vidura is the example. He does not retaliate. He walks away calmly with dignity. And how does it all happen? Because Duryodhana expels Vidura from. Duryodhana shouts, "Who called this son of a kept mistress? He spies for the enemy. Throw him out immediately. Leave him only with his life." Here, Vidura's birth was misused. Vidura was born to a Dasi himself, but raised as a prince. His birth was never considered a defect by even Dhritarashtra. Vidura was Dhritarashtra's beloved brother and chief advisor. Yet Duryodhana weaponized Vidura's birth to insult him. Duryodhana's accusation was that Vidura is a spy for the Pandavas. He is disloyal, he is infidel and unworthy, and so he is deserving to be beaten. And this shows the terrible blindness caused by envy. Actually, in palace life, what is required is romance. Even a thoughtless person like Vidura is used and threatened. It is the nature of politics. Envy distorts vision. Vidura's wisdom, seeing the unexpected cruelty of his nephew, Vidura calmly decides, "I will live for." This becomes a turning point. Vidura's pilgrimage ultimately leads to deeper instruction, realization, and later returning to uplift Dhritarashtra. If you look at these three verses, many lessons. First, supporting a non-devotee destroys one's auspiciousness. Dhritarashtra's support of Duryodhana erased his intelligence, peace, prosperity. Secondly, a true son uplifts the parent spiritually. A child who is against Krishna cannot uplift anyone. Thirdly, bad association is bad. Shakuni plus Karna plus younger brothers is equivalent to destruction of Duryodhana. Fourth, envy of devotee equals envy of Krishna. Duryodhana hates the Pandavas for Krishna's devotees, thus he hates Krishna himself. Fifth, wise men are fearless. Vidura tells the truth publicly even though Duryodhana stands right before him. Sixth, the fool responds with anger. Wisdom angers the wicked. Seventh, walk away from toxic environment. Vidura chooses dignity, not drama. So conclusion, do not support those who oppose dharma. A devotee must be fearless in truthfulness. Wicked become furious at good instructions. Envy blinds intelligence. Association determines destiny. Vidura stands as the example of the wise, fearless, dharma-aligned devotee, while Duryodhana represents envy, arrogance, and inevitable destruction. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.